I'm gonna start off by saying I don't know how the fuck anybody is picking Chelsea Chandler.
He's gonna let them Canelo hands fly, and dude, I swear to God, dude, like, I swear to God, man, if he doesn't wrestle, I picked him for fucking JDM. I was like, dude, he's gonna fucking cream JDM, dude. He's gonna wrestle. He's gonna. This isn't the guy you want to prove it against. Bonfim can definitely knock him the fuck
Canelo
out.
hands, Muhammad.
This is Corner Talk.
What's going on, guys? It's UFC Pap. I'm here with my boy UFC Zach. We are excited to be back this week. We have a Belal main event, so take that with a grain of salt. But we're back at the Apex. I'm looking forward to this card. There are some exciting matchups on it for sure. And then next week we have UFC 250, Freedom 250, and I'm excited for that card as well. So we will kind of speak on some things surrounding that towards the end of the show. But how's your week going, man?
Week's going great. I'm super excited. You can't have UFC Freedom 250s without your Belal fight nights. You gotta have a little bit of sacrifice to have a super stacked card. And I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I can't wait.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
It's just a normal time now.
Yeah, and I'm not even like a Belal hater. I know people do hate Belal. They give him a lot of hate because they say he's got pillow hands or he's a decision, merchant, whatever. But I do think that his fight with JDM was exciting. His fight with Ian Gary was exciting, and I think that this fight is also going to be exciting. So, all love to Belal. I think that this card does have potential to be kind of a sleeper. The main card is pretty good. There are some exciting matchups, and last week I kind of felt like it was an underestimated card. A lot of people were kind of shitting on it because it was a Song Yadong Figgy main event, but the card ended up being great. I think there was only 3 decisions on the entire card, which is pretty good. I'd say that's a pretty good night at the office. And we had some pretty exciting outcomes. I kind of want to get into this one because last week we were both kind of shitting on this guy, respectfully, of course, but I told you that Ray Cerrulla was my lock of the card, and he got the job done, man. He went out there and, he took Gurule's back, and next thing you know, face crank, got the submission in round 1. I saw an interesting opinion about this fight. So Paul Felder, him and Bisping on their podcast, they were talking about it, and they were talking about how he may have done himself a disservice for taking such a quick fight after his last one. And I kind of agree because Ray Cerrulla is not the type of opponent that you should take lightly or train, a week or two for. Like, Ray Cerrulla has insane wrestling, great grappling. His submissions are nasty. And I feel like Gurule just really did not have time to prepare for this style of fight, especially since his last fight was more of a striker, or his last opponent was more of a striker. Cerrulla went out there and did exactly what I thought was going to happen. But what did you think of this fight?
No, I think it was an excellent showcase of his skills. I think it was, he's got a lot of potential, and I agree. I think that his strength of schedule didn't do him any favors, Gurule. But to be fair, I don't know if a full camp would have done him any difference. I think Cerrulla would have. There's just levels on the ground, and while Gurule is defensively wrestling sound enough to, even offensively, he can impose his own game plan against maybe like the average fighter. But this is a specialist.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see who they give Cerrulla next. I do think that there are some exciting matchups out there for him, so I'm excited to see what happens there. But let's move on to this fight because this one was kind of crazy. We had Cameron Smotherman get absolutely flatlined by Kyle Sakura. And Asakura, he used to fight at, I believe he was a 135 champion before he moved over. And when he came to the UFC, he took the fight at 125. Obviously, coming into a brand new promotion, the upper echelon of promotions, if you get offered a title fight for your first fight, you take that shit. So I do think that maybe the weight cuts down to 125 maybe have affected his performance a little bit, as well as maybe he's not the most polished grappler either. But that being said, since he's moved to 135, I mean, clearly, like, he's got power. The power is there at 135. His striking looked crisp off rip. And yeah, it didn't take much for him to flatline Smotherman. So what do you think of Kyle Sakura at 135? And do you think that, he could potentially make a run here?
Realistically, a run? No. No, I mean, he has a glaring hole in his submission defense and grappling. I think that a lot of people, once he gets to that higher level, are probably going to capitalize on. That being said, said respectfully, but that being said, they need to name his hands weight cut the way he dropped Smotherman, because that was crazy. He put him out fast.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly kind of felt bad because the camera, they had it on him, and
he's just slumped over.
Yeah, it almost looked like he went to sleep twice. Like he went to sleep and then kind of woke up, and then he just kind of went back out. It was kind of scary. But you were speaking on, some of the grapplers at the top of the division for 135, and I'm looking right now, like, I don't think there's anybody that's too dangerous at 135 outside of the top 5, like, submission wise, that he would have like too many problems with. Like, we have Ayman Zahabi at number 6, Mario Bautista at 7, David Martinez at 8, Figgy at 9. We just saw Figgy obviously get submitted. Then Cheeto, then Peyton, and then everyone else is pretty much a striker besides Raul Rosas, who is ranked number 13. So like,
Cheeto subs him for sure. Things that Hobby would probably.
I don't think Cheeto would sub him, man. When's the last time Cheeto subbed somebody?
No, he's got a black belt though. If he's smart.
When's the last time Cheeto won a fight? Respectfully.
Yo,
I'm just saying, like, I love
Dominic
Cheeto.
Cruz.
Yeah, like 5 years ago. Like, I love Cheeto. Don't get me wrong. I am a Cheeto Vera fan. Cheeto is the shit. I love his style. I love that he's with all my favorite rappers. Like, Cheeto is one of the coolest guys outside of MMA as a person. But lately, he hasn't looked great. And, like, I don't know, man. I think that Kyle Sakura, if given the proper matchups at 135, I think he could jump into the top 10 pretty soon. Like, I think he might have trouble with Honey Barcelos or Basharat or Rosas, but I think you give him like Vinicius Oliveira. That's a fun fight. That's a banger.
That is a fun fight.
Peyton Talbot, I mean, that's a banger, but I don't know. I think Peyton takes that. Cheeto, obviously. I think, honestly, right now, I would give Kyle Sakura the edge against Cheeto.
Cheeto's in it. He's got a mental block.
And Figgy, I just can't trust Figgy to use his grappling. Like, I don't know, man. It's a tough division. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Asakura is going to be a champion, but I do think that he could have some success.
He could definitely have success in the top ranks. He has very good striking. I just, I do think that he has a glaring grappling hole that any smart fighter would, they'd avoid striking with him.
Yeah, I agree. But moving on, I was super hyped for this fight, but I was not confident on either side, even though I probably should have been in hindsight. But we had Sergey Pavlovich versus Telson Teixeira. Man, he absolutely sparked Teixeira. Teixeira had nothing for him off rip. Pavlovich looked like his old self. He went out there, just started throwing bombs, clipped Taliesin, hit him up against the fence, dropped him, and that was all she wrote. And then after the fight was over, he called for the winner between Gon and Pereira next week. And going back to like Bisping and Felder, they actually talked about this week also. If Tom doesn't come back, that's a very possible matchup. Like, the only person who has beat him is Volkov. So, I mean, why not give him, the fight? If Gon goes out there and wins, that's an exciting matchup. And if Pereira goes out there and wins, I would love to see Poatan versus Pavlovich. I think that is a banger fight. I think that Poatan would force Pavlovich to look like how he just did in this fight. He would have to be aggressive early. And I don't know, man. That's a banger. But how did you feel about this one?
No, I mean, I had Sergey. I felt like there was no way. Like it's just the difference in competition that Taliesin he did not look great in his past fight with Tai Tuivasa before that, but I didn't think he was going to do it the way that he did it. I thought that he had just found this decision kick that he was on, and no, he, like you said, he showed his shades of brilliance that got him to the title shot in the first place. And if honestly, I don't see another fight that makes sense for another heavyweight title contender. Like, yeah, Volkov, he's been looking really good. He wins a lot of fights. He's beaten Sergey, but he's coming off of honestly a stinker
Hmm.
against the next person who I would probably say deserves a title shot, Waldo Cortez Acosta, who that fight was a stinker. Sergey, he's stringing together this I think his second win in a row since
He beat
losing to
Waldo, I think,
Volkov. Yeah,
last. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, he beat Waldo too. Yeah, no, he deserves a title shot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the top five, you have Josh Hokit, Waldo, Pavlovich, Volkov, and Sirigan. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Pavlovich has already beat Waldo. I mean, he lost to Volkov, but it was a stinker fight. Um, I mean, the only person in the top five that he hasn't fought yet, besides Josh Hokit, is Cyril Gane.
Cyril,
So,
he's fighting for the belt.
yeah, but I did see, I think it was on social media. Pavlovich said if he doesn't get the fight with the winner of Gane versus Poatan, that he would like to fight Josh Hokit later this year if Josh Hokit wins against Derek Lewis next
That'd be
week.
nuts.
So, dude, that's a banger fight too. Like
That's a banger.
heavyweight is exciting again. Heavyweight
Yeah.
finally has life. So, I'm looking forward to that. But that was last week's card. The main event, it was so one-sided, man. Song Yadong just went out there. He caught Figgy when he shot in for a takedown, got the guillotine. Figgy tapped very fast, so it must have been more of like a trachea issue. I think it was probably just on the throat, extremely tight. But yeah, how did you feel about that main event?
I thought it was outside looking in, it felt obvious like it's gonna be like a Song KO or something. I mean, if you thought he was gonna get a finish at all, because Figgy is so durable,
Hmm.
you could see him just potentially just beating him on the feet to a decision. But the fact that he's being team alpha male and then he's getting a guillotine win, dude, I love that. That's awesome. And then Figgy, even though he's not, this isn't the world champion Figgy. This isn't even the Figgy that subbed Cody Garbrandt in round two. This is this is like just getting old Figgy. Still subbing Figgy. That looks really good on paper for Song's resume, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And Song, I know a lot of people were upset because they bet for him to get a KO or a decision. So the sub did kind of screw some people over, but I knew that fight was not going the distance, so I had a fat bet on that. And yeah, man, I was excited to cash. But enough of last week's card. Let's move into this week's card. We have Ketlin Souza versus Ariane Carnelosi. How do you see this fight going?
So I think Souza, she's very aggressive, well-rounded. She's got a willingness to push a high pace. She's developing still at the UFC level. Um, I think that she combines her danger striking with a capable submission game, making her able to mix up her weapons well. Versus Carnelosi, very powerful, very boxing heavy. I feel like she gasses a little bit, and I don't know. She does have a susceptibility to being on her back if taken down. I do see these as openings for Souza to get a win. Whether it be through control time, as I said,
Mhm.
she can mix it up fairly decent, or through her volume. Because even though I feel Carnelosi will probably have the power advantage, I feel like Souza still does pack a punch, and she has more activity. She's busier on the feet.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny that you said Carnelosi, kind of gasses because I kind of feel that way about Souza. Souza throws so hard. She throws so much power behind every punch that like if she can't put you out or do damage early, she definitely gasses as well. So I do think that both these girls are going to be throwing as hard as they can. Um, I
I don't know. Maybe it's just me thinking about Carnelosi's arms. She's got some beefy arms, dude. I just think about it's like God. I know those fill up with lactic acid fast. Like
Yeah. Also, apologies to the American viewers. I had my VPN on when I was getting these tail of the tapes, so they're in whatchamacallit. But It's all right. Kilos, meters, it doesn't matter. What matters is that Souza is probably going to win this fight, because that's what I actually think. I do think that Souza is obviously more of a veteran as far as the UFC goes. She has a lot of fights in the promotion, whereas Carnelossi, I think, only has two now. I think she had a
She
Dana
had a
White contender
DQ
series, and
win
then her.
over Pereira Rodriguez, and then she's Carnelossi. She's looks like she's probably like 6 fights in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6.
Carnelossi?
Yeah.
She has 6 fights in the UFC already?
Yep.
Damn.
She did take a lot of time off. This is stemming back to 2019.
Yeah, I just remember her last 2 fights. Okay. Well, either way, I do think that Ketlin Souza is a little more dangerous as far as she will go for submissions. She has like a nasty ninja choke that she likes to throw out. I remember she caught what's her name at the Sphere. She caught I think it's Eunice. No, not Eunice. I'm sorry.
As Jaguar Yasmin.
Yeah, Yasmin Uruguay. She hit her with like a mean like right hook or something and just jumped on the neck and put her to sleep, and it was nasty, bro. She was out cold quick. I do think that Souza has the ability to do that here, especially if Carnelossi goes out there and is throwing heavy and she gasses. Maybe she makes a mistake and gets caught in something. I like Souza here, so she's the pick. Moving on, we have I don't know how to pronounce her name. Yesla Chavez and Eunice Dubin. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not impressed with Dubin whatsoever. I thought that her contender series fight was cool. She got that nasty knockout, but then she got absolutely fraud checked in her last fight. Kind of proved that she is one dimensional. I like Chavez here. I think she's pretty gritty. I think she's gonna go out there again, utilize more weapons, and be able to get Dubin out of there. So give me Chavez. What do you think of this fight?
I think Chavez too. She's well-rounded. Blah, blah, blah. She's well-rounded. She blends technical striking with strong grappling fundamentals. She's got a good pace and very good footwork. She's very positionally aware. And like you said, just not super impressed with Dubin. Granted, she's only 1 fight removed from UFC experience that Dubin has. She's making her UFC debut coming off a contender series win. So who knows? But I like the reach advantage and the mixing it up. I like her use of all of her tools. So yeah, Chavez is the pick.
Yeah, and Chavez, her last win over Montenegro, like Montenegro is a beast. She's actually one of my favorite female fighters right now. I like her style, and for her to go out there and grind out a split decision win over Montenegro, like, to me, that speaks volumes. That shows that she's highly skilled. She's very well rounded. And again, Dubin, man, losing to Carly Judice. I mean, I know Carly Judice she's a scrapper. She will go out there and just throw everything that she can. Still a bad look to me, in my opinion. So I'm leaning to Chavez. How do I think she gets it done? I don't know, man. I don't know if she's in a KO Dubin, but I think that it'll probably be a high-paced, high-volume fight. So give me Chavez by decision. Next, we have Jordan Levitt versus Joanderson Brito. I'm kind of curious to see what you have on this fight before I give my take. So how do you see this one going?
I think Joanderson Brito, he's got power. He can knock you out. He's got submissions. He's good on the ground. I do think that Jordan Levitt is very, I know he does a lot of running. He's got a great gas tank. He's very wrestling heavy, very top heavy. I think that he's gonna take advantage of Joanderson Brito's tendency to go to his back, and probably grind out a decision win.
Yeah, I actually agree. I have like the exact same take. I think after seeing what Pat Sabatini did to Joanderson Brito, I think that Jordan Levitt is going to be able to do the same thing. I just think that, Brito, he's so aggressive, but when he has guys that can wrestle and hold him down, because he's so aggressive and he throws very heavy with everything, if you duck under that, shoot for the leg, like you're gonna probably take him down. And I think Jordan Levitt is good enough to hold Brito down. That being said, Brito, like Levitt is not a safe pick by any means. Brito throws heavy. You know, he beat Diego Lopez in Contender Series, so like Brito's no slouch either. But give me Jordan Levitt. I do think that he's going to be able to implement the wrestling here. He's another Extreme Couture guy, so him and oh, why am I blanking on his name right now? Head coach Eric Nixick. Yeah, Eric Nixick. I think that you know, they do great work over there. They have a lot of fight IQ. Granted, sometimes their style is kind of boring. They get the job done. They get wins, and ultimately that's all that matters. So give me Jordan Levitt, probably by a decision. Moving on, we have Priscilla Cachoeira versus Chelsea Chandler. I'm going to start off by saying I don't know how the fuck anybody is picking Chelsea Chandler. I'm sorry. I don't want to be disrespectful. But Chelsea Chandler is just known for the meme of her sprinting from, what was it, Norma Dumont?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but dude, I can't take her. Like, I see people picking her and like, oh, this is the lock of the week. Chelsea Chandler is not like some heavy hitter. She's not like some nasty wrestler. I think that Priscilla Cachoeira, as long as she shows an ounce of fight IQ, can go out there, land some bombs on Chelsea Chandler, and put her away within 2 rounds. So give me Priscilla Cachoeira. I pray to God she doesn't gas within the first round, because it could definitely happen. But I just don't see Chelsea Chandler winning this fight. How do you see this one going?
I think Cachoeira is experience savvy enough to know that she's gonna just try and get like controlled, and is gonna try and keep that from happening. I think that she has the power. Like as you said, her running away, that's fucking terrible. That screams that I don't like being hit. And I mean, Cachoeira is not someone you want to get hit by any means. So I do think that she has the power to get the job done, absolutely, by knockout. But her gassing and losing some shitty decision, I feel like it could be possible, but pick officially is Cachoeira.
I don't even know how she could lose a decision, man. I think if she has a successful first round, I think Chelsea is going to be so beat up in the second round, she's not going to be throwing much. And then even if Cachoeira gives away the third round, like, I don't know, dude. We might even see a 10-8 in the first round for Cachoeira. Like,
Sounding like
I know
Cachoeira spreads the safe bet.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say safe, because she could death gas, and if she death gasses, I think Chandler might be able to just TKO her because she's like absolutely smoked. But I don't think it's realistic. It's MMA, anything is possible. But I just like, I don't know, man. Cachoeira, she looked a lot better in the Claudia Segula fight. I think she showed a little more fight IQ there. Segula turned into a grappler, obviously, and was, you know, trying to take her down or whatnot. But Chelsea Chandler, like, her last fight was Jocelyn Edwards, who she got knocked out in the first round. Loses the decision to Yana Santos. Beats Josiane Nunez, who, I'm sorry, is nobody. And then loses the decision to Norma Dumont, which is when she was sprinting away from her. Like, the other issue I have, too, with Chelsea Chandler, respectfully, have you seen her Instagram?
No, I haven't.
Dude, she used to be extremely fit. She used to have, like, what is she fighting at right now? She is fighting at bantamweight. Yeah. She used to have, like, a strawweight figure.
Okay.
She was very thin, very athletic looking. I don't want to shit on her appearance now because that's disrespectful. But I don't know what happened in her life that she just, like, gained a lot of weight. And, like, she just looks like she's not training as hard as she potentially could. And for me, that's kind of a red flag. Like, who knows how hard she's actually going in the gym, how, you know, how much she's actually preparing for these fights. So it's just another red flag. Give me Cachoeira. But let's move on. We have Bruno Silva versus Edgar Chairez. This is going to be a banger fight. This is a banger flyweight fight. Bruno Silva, the guy is nasty. he has good striking, great grappling. He has slick submissions. Edgar Chairez on the other side, also pretty good striking, really nasty with submissions off his back. He will go for triangles, arm bars. He has those long legs that he utilizes extremely well. The problem with Chairez for me is he does not like to be bullied. And if he's getting hit to the body or getting hit with big shots, he does tend to kind of shut down. And I think that Bruno Silva could potentially do that to him here. I just don't really see Edgar Chairez being able to do much to Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva is going to be too savvy to be submitted by anything that Chairez, might try to throw up. And I just don't know if Edgar Chairez really has the power to hurt Bruno Silva. So I'm taking Bruno Silva here. I'm pretty confident. How do you see this fight going?
I mean, I think that's a very good pick. I mean, Silva, he's got the veteran experience. I don't see him getting that submission. That's his bread and butter. That's what everyone's always about, is his fast submission game. I feel like he could maybe, he's got a pretty sizable reach advantage, 6 inches. He's a bigger guy. They're pretty active, volume strikers. I could see him maybe etching out a decision through if it stayed standing. Mm-hmm. But if they play into just the mixing of the martial arts, I feel like Bruno Silva can mix it better, and he'll probably rack up some control time on his way to a decision. Or, as you said, he could potentially mentally beat him and get him out of there with a TKO.
Yeah. All right. Well, seems like we are on the same page with that one. Moving on. This fight, I like Marcus McGee. I am super high on Marcus McGee. I don't know why ESPN doesn't have his photo. Dude's been in the UFC for a minute, so kind of disrespectful there.
Jan.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty disrespectful there. But we love Marcus McGee over here. MMA lab guy, very skilled. Had a great fight with Peter Yan, if I have to be honest. It's Peter Yan, and he lost the fight, but it was competitive. He was landing some good shots on Peter Yan. John Yanis, or Yanis, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I'm not super high on him, man. He beat Jamie Siraj. That guy, respectfully, is a can. That guy, I was watching his regional fights when he fought against Yanis the last time. I was watching some of his fights. The guy only beats people that he can out cardio or catch them in a sub late in the fight. I'm not super confident in Yanis to be able to do anything here. I think Marcus McGee is just way too well-rounded. I think he's got great power in his hands, great striking. He also has great grappling, and the dude is built like a tank. He's just absolutely shredded. Obviously, he's got great cardio. The age is a little bit of a worry, but he's yet to show any signs that his age is going to affect his performances. So give me Marcus McGee. That's a lock for me. How do you see this fight going?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the disrespect is kind of crazy. He went from I guess not too much disrespect. Holy cow, he's minus 500 favorite. But it's you go from as you said, competitive fight with Piotr Yan. That man's the champion right now. He is the champion. Mm-hmm. And then you're giving this guy who he lost one, he won one, and the UFC hasn't been tested. If he can do that at the UFC level for 3 rounds yet versus a guy who went 3 hard rounds with Yan. This guy, I see him getting a KO. I like McGee KO. I think that he wins, and it doesn't even need to go the distance. There would be a clean performance.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think the KO is probably live here. Potentially club and sub. So if I was going to bet on this fight, I would just go finish. Because Giannis did get submitted by Austin Bashi. But yeah, I definitely think. Yeah, but I mean, Marcus McGee is a good grappler also. I've heard stories from guys at MMA Lab that Marcus McGee is one of the better grapplers there at that gym. I mean, you got to think he's training with Mario Batista and those guys are obviously Benson Henderson. Those guys are all really good grapplers as well. So I'm sure his grappling is just as good as his striking. But when you knock people out, you don't really need to show it. So moving on to the main event. Or I'm sorry, not main event. Main card. Actually, before we go to the main card, I gotta stay sharp. You know, I gotta stay sharp. So I have my Argos. Oh shit, sorry, lighting. I have my Argos gummies. I'm gonna take one. I actually finished my other ones. Um, Bro, it's funny because so there's no like warning on how many you should eat per day. It just says they recommend, I think, 3 a day. When I went to New Jersey for UFC 328, I was so nervous about like the co-main event and main event. I think I ate like 4 of them
Oh man.
just while I was sitting there. I was so focused. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this blue raspberry flavor, pretty good.
No, you just wanted some candy.
Hey man, trying to get the plug over there at Argos. Hopefully soon we'll have a link for the viewers, and yeah, hopefully we'll have some more products to test. I'm really looking forward to the drinks that they have coming out. I think like later this month. But
Heck yeah.
moving on though to the main card, we have Matt Schnell versus Alessandro Costa. I think that's the next fight, right?
Yep.
No, I lied.
What's the next one
That
I
is-
had?
Okay, well we'll just go with it. We have Matt Schnell versus Alessandro Costa. Alessandro Costa, I'm sorry, another lock. Alessandro Costa, Marcus McGee are 2 locks on the card. I just don't see any way in the world that they lose. Alessandro Costa, I think, is going to go out there, absolutely piece up Matt Schnell on the feet. Also has amazing grappling. Alessandro Costa probably, I'm going to say second round KO. How do you see this fight going?
Yeah, I think definitely KO. I just yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really I don't understand this matchup a lot really because it's like Schnell, he hasn't really been impressing me lately at all.
Mhm.
I mean, that's 1 out of his last 5 that he's won, and that was against Jimmy Flick. It's just round 2, I feel optimistic. I could see a round 1. Alessandro's got some power. He seems to be like kind of coming in his own a little bit. But yeah, no, definitely good pick. Costa KO.
Well, I think this fight is mostly just a little step for Costa to get closer to the rankings because I know Matt Schnell is probably right outside the top 15.
I was gonna say, is he still ranked?
No, he's not. He's not currently. But obviously, he's probably right outside of the rankings. So if Costa runs through him, next opponent is more than likely going to be a ranked one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Alessandro Costa here. I think he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. And I just can't get that clip of Matt Schnell getting absolutely flatlined by Tim Urseg where like the ref afterwards was like kind of talking shit low key. He's like, yeah, I didn't.
Head hit the floor.
Yeah, that's brutal. It has to be pretty humiliating, but this should be a pretty exciting performance for Costa. Moving on, we have Iwo Baranowski versus Junior Tafa. Man, I hate the hate that the Tafa brothers get because I know they have no grappling. I know they have no wrestling defense, no takedown defense, but when you give them strikers, it's usually an exciting fight. Like if you give them a striker, it's going to be a fun fight. I don't know if Junior Tafa is going to win this fight, but if we're being honest, Iwo also hasn't faced like the cream of the crop yet, whereas Junior Tafa has faced some decent opponents in the past. I'm not saying that, or I'm not bringing that up to say that Tafa like is going to win, but I do think that this is going to be somewhat more competitive than people probably think it is. I think it's going to be just some high level striking on display, and I don't really have a pick. I think like the public is probably on Iwo. He's probably the favorite for sure, but yeah, I'm just excited for this fight. I think realistically, Iwo might have more weapons, but the thing that kind of makes me want to lean Tafa is if you go back to the Iwo versus Ebo Aslan fight, Iwo was getting touched up. Like Iwo was getting clipped. They both were. They were just throwing haymakers. I don't think Tafa is going to stand there and try to like go to absolute war with Iwo, but I do think that Tafa has the power to chin Iwo, like put him completely out. So I don't know. Just be careful. I know some people think that Iwo is an absolute lock. I wouldn't say lock just because he did get touched up a lot in the Ebo fight. So cautious there, but should be a good fight, and somebody probably is getting KO'd. How do you see this fight going?
I think that no, that's a very very keen observation because yeah, I picked Aslan in that fight. I remember watching that fight just like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, dude. Iwo got dropped a few times in that. And that's a completely realistic possibility that Tafa could. You know, he's a kickboxer. He's 7-5 right now, but that's because he's had a bunch of people try and choke him. And that's, I mean, I I personally would love to see Iwo use that judo black belt he was talking about having in that last post fight interview. I would love to see him just take him down and work a submission and show that, hey, I've got this whole other wrinkle in my game that you guys don't even know about. So I think that would be cool. But I mean, Tafa KO's got some value for sure.
Yeah, no, but that's a great point that you brought up about Iwo. I completely forgot that he was like a high judoku. So yeah, I mean, this is gonna be the fight to use it if he wants to use it,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
standing on the feet with Junior Tafa is always a dangerous game. So yeah, man, maybe we just see a wrestle fuck from Iwo. Maybe he just takes Tafa down and keeps him down. I don't know.
I want to see that. I want to see him take him, slam him, and then immediately like a head arm choke is there, and he's just like, all right, just work it. Like,
Yeah, hey, potentially, but we'll have to wait until Saturday to see. Moving on, we have Bryce Mitchell versus Santiago Luna. Santiago Luna is a short notice replacement for I think it was Victor Henry. Um, Man, I don't know about this fight, to be honest, because when I think of Bryce Mitchell striking wise, I just can't get the uh
Emmett KO.
Josh Emmett flatline seizure KO out of my head. Like, it's so hard to look past that. And I know Josh Emmett, he hits like a truck. He's got some of like the most power in the division. But Santiago Luna, he also has power. Like, the dude does also hit very hard. He couldn't put our boy Angel Pacheco out. So maybe Bryce Mitchell has a chance. But I do think that grappling wise, I think that Bryce Mitchell, he's a good grappler. I think he has the potential to be able to take Santiago Luna down and kind of implement, his skill set there. It's definitely a big step up for Santiago Luna as well. Bryce Mitchell, he's been in there with some high level strikers and gotten the job done. So if I had a gun to my head, I'd pick Bryce Mitchell here. But I'm just excited for this fight. I don't have a super confident pick at all, but yeah, man, I think it's either Bryce Mitchell utilizing the grappling, getting the job done there, probably either by decision or submission, or Santiago Luna just absolutely flatlines him with something crazy. How do you see this fight going?
I feel confident in Luna. I don't know, because he's got submissions, he's got ground game. I think he's able to maybe keep it in his wheelhouse. I don't see him trying to initiate with Bryce Mitchell. And Bryce, I mean, he can be a hard guy to get off you once he is on top. He does pride himself on his wrestling and whatnot. But I don't know. I think Mitchell's going to be a good name to add to his resume. I think he's going to probably get a KO. I don't know. There's not like I don't have a why to it. Definitely it's the images of his KO loss, and he hasn't really had like just the greatest little run lately. It's crazy the aura he had going from his fight with Ilya to where he is now. And it's just, I don't know. Then you hear stuff about Luna, it's the opposite, and then you see how he's doing, and Pacheco, like, dude, he took some shots in that fight. Like, Luna has some power, absolutely. That, if Pacheco wasn't so tough, he would have been put out. And I have seen Mitchell put out like that. I don't know. It lines up Luna KO for me.
Yeah, but it's also funny because like he fought Ilya and was able to withstand the power.
Well,
He got submitted, but
got submitted,
he never
but I
got
felt
like
that was a
absolutely rocked on the
statement.
feet.
That wasn't, nah, dude. He was getting tore up.
But I'm saying he wasn't like getting dropped and like, oh, all rocked and like, clearly about to go to sleep. Like, Bryce Mitchell hung in there with Ilya's power. Granted, you can't say the same about the Josh Emmett fight, but and for me, like, the only reason that I wouldn't confidently pick Santiago Luna here, or I'm not gonna say the only reason because that sounds terrible. If I was an absolute casual, right, I didn't know who either one of these guys was, and you said, look at Santiago Luna, this like good looking guy from California, He's like, younger. He's a striker. He has, flashy striking, whatever. His debut or whatever was a knockout, like, versus Bryce Mitchell, who is a veteran, has fought some of the toughest guys in the division, and is a farmer outside of the UFC. Like, this guy is constantly in the field, working hard, building shit on his property. Like, he is like grass-fed farmer boy. I'd have to go with the farmer, bro. I'm sorry. Like, if it gets nitty-gritty and like you have to absolutely show how tough you are, I think I have to lean Bryce Mitchell. But that's just like if I'm thinking as a casual. Now, if I'm thinking technicality-wise, Bryce might be in trouble with the striking. He might. But I do think he's going to be able to implement that wrestling. And I don't know, man. I just don't know if Santiago Luna's cardio is going to hold up, because he was getting tired in the Angel Pacheco fight. Because he wasn't able to put Angel out in the first round, like, he definitely slowed down as the fight went on. And I think that that's going to be a terrible situation if he ends up like that with Bryce Mitchell. Like, he's going to definitely be taken to some deep waters if he can't put Bryce out early. So,
yeah,
by no means would I say that Santiago Luna is a lock, but hey, maybe he's going to go out there and just absolutely flatline him, and then he would have been a good lock. But all right, so next we have Fares Ziam versus Tom Nolan. How do you see this fight going, man?
Personally, I'm on Ziam. I like Nolan. I think that he's able to mix up his tools pretty well. He's been able to string together some finishes, and he's got a KO and a sub and 2 decisions rather on this little streak that he's gotten. But I don't know, him not subbing Borshev, that's crazy to me. Yeah. I feel like Ziam, he's got really good wrestling and he's got really crisp striking. I love that KO against Matt Favola against the cage. It was brilliant. Like, he was able, that clip, it went viral of Ray Longo telling Matt Favola to turn into it. So it's like, I don't know. In my mind, when I think of that, he outsmarted the coach. He had the coach tricked. Like, he had it on such a level of that lining that KO up that it was unpreventable. And so that just really, like, I feel like speaks to levels. And I don't know. I think that the French are able to, sometimes they have a bad stigma in MMA, but I don't know. Sometimes, dude, they're able to string together some crazy fighters. Like, I just got Cyril Gane, Fares Ziam. I put him in that same category, dude. I pick him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of Ziam yet. Like, I don't know. He hasn't won me over, I guess. He has some good wins. He beat Jai Herbert, Matt Favola. Mike Davis is a pretty impressive win. I honestly thought Mike Davis was going to beat him. Mike Davis did not look like himself in that fight. But honestly, I think his best win to date was his last fight, Nazim Sadikov. I think that Nazim is one of the better guys out there in that division, and he was able to go out there and just rock him, and then it was bad. Tom Nolan, that's the issue I have here, is I like Tom Nolan. I just think that the chin is kind of suspect, and I think that this fight, he could get pieced up by Ziam, and Ziam, obviously, we know, has really good grappling as well, so I could see a potential for like a club and sub here. Maybe he rocks Nolan and then jumps on something. It's definitely a dangerous, volatile fight. I think both guys have, passed the victory. I also kind of feel like this fight is probably not going the distance. I think that somebody's probably going to get finished. And I'm excited for it. So I don't have a pick for this one. I really want to go Tom Nolan. Like, I really want to pick Nolan. I don't know if I could trust the chin. That's my problem. But
Don't trust it. Don't trust it.
For the sake of
Trust your gut.
For the sake of having a pick, I'm just gonna pick Tom Nolan. If he goes out there and gets knocked out, it's
he's
a
a minus 300, or he's a plus 300 underdog. Like, it was gonna happen. Like,
yeah. But moving on, we have Brendan Allen versus Edmund Shabazian. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not excited about this fight. It's kind of a weird one to me. Like, I don't have a problem with either guy. I just think that Shabazian is kind of like, he's had some weird performances in the UFC so far, Brendan Allen, kind of the same way. I did not expect him to run through RDR the way he did, so that did kind of impress me. And I just feel like with Edmund Shabazian, I feel like Brendan Allen's going to be able to implement his grappling here. And I think that he's going to be able to keep Edmund Shabazian down. I see that being a huge problem for Edmund. If he can't stuff the takedowns, it's going to be a long night for him. But that being said, if he survives being taken down, Brendan Allen's going to gas. Granted, it's only a 3-round fight, but I do think that Brendan Allen doesn't want anything to do with Edmund Shabazian on the feet. I think that that's going to be Edmund Shabazian's path to victory. Make it through the fire in the first round of Brendan Allen trying to take you down, and then hope that you clip him or take over in the second or third round. So, for the sake of having to pick, I'll say Brendan Allen, but I do think Edmund Shabazian KO is pretty live. How do you see this fight going?
No, personally, I respectfully disagree. I don't know. If I was to have a lock this card, it's Allen. Allen just that. It doesn't seem like these two should even be in the same cage to me. I know that Edmund Shabazian, he was supposed to fight Park. I felt like Park was probably going to win that fight. And then he somehow gets matched up with Allen, who was not far from, talks of title contention. So I just think that, for someone with as glaring holes in his game as Edmund, as he's shown with his grappling, to go against Brendan Allen, who is certified lethal in the grappling, that's crazy to me. And he's a -200 favorite. I do think, Edmund, it's a fight. It's a fist fight. And Shabazian, he's some of the best to do it. He's some of the best to knock you out. I definitely think a Shabazian KO could be live, but I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I think Allen he survived fighting, Imavov, and not only survived, he got Imavov to the ground and essentially 10-8'd him. It felt that in the fight. So it's just like I don't
won the
see
fight?
Yeah, all right. Imavov definitely won the fight, but I don't see Edmund stopping the takedown. And if the takedown happens, it feels game over.
The only reason that I think that Shabazian KO is live is because he made it 3 rounds with Fluffy. And I think if Fluffy and Allen were to fight 10 times, I think that Fluffy wins probably 10 out of 10. And I just think that Edmund Shabazian being able to go, almost 15 minutes with Fluffy, who has an insane gas tank. Brendan Allen does not have that same gas tank. If Brendan Allen takes him down, I do think that Edmund Shabazian could potentially survive long enough until Brendan Allen's gas tank starts to wear on him. I was watching the Jackson podcast a few weeks back when I went to UFC 328. I was driving and I was listening to it. Brendan Allen was talking about how he doesn't really train on a regular basis. He only trains when he's in fight camp. When he's not booked for a fight, he doesn't do any MMA training. He literally just lives his normal life and takes care of his kids because he has 7 kids or something. So to me, I know he went out there and absolutely destroyed RDR. So obviously it works for him. But Edmund Shabazian, I don't know, man. I just that's the only thing that worries me. I'm not saying
He's
that
improved
Shabazian's
a lot. That's fair. I will say he has improved a lot in that glaring hole.
Yeah,
But
I'm not saying Shabazian's gonna go out there and get an impressive win and knock out Brendan Allen, but I do think it's a possibility. I'd say this fight is 60-40, 60% Brendan Allen wins, 40% Shabazian wins, because I just think that, if he survives, bro, it's going to be a bad time for Allen. I know Allen was training with Hamzat or whatever for, his Strickland camp, and he's been spending this camp with Belal, but I don't know, man.
I like that angle about the Fluffy fight. That's a good point.
Yeah, I just think that if he survives, that's a big if, but if he survives, Brendan Allen may be in trouble late.
That's
So
good angle.
we'll see. But moving on, we have the main event: Belal Muhammad versus Gabriel Bonfim.
Hell yeah,
Dude. So this fight, I've seen some weird activity, right? So Belal was originally the underdog, but the fight was favored to go over. The over was, I think, 3.5. And now Belal is the favorite. And I would take Belal. Like, if I had a gun in my head, I would say Belal's going to utilize his, wrestling skills and basically drown Bonfim for 25 minutes, especially because it's at the Apex, small cage. It makes sense that he gets his hands on Bonfim, right? Thing that worries me, Bonfim is an explosive striker. He also has submissions, and I feel like he's the better Bonfim brother as well. Like,
Yeah,
he fights much smarter, and I think that obviously he knows Belal's game plan is going to be to wrestle and take him down. If Belal goes out there and does the same shit he did against JDM, where he doesn't start wrestling until the 5th round, he's fucked. Like, I'm sorry, but Bonfim is going to hurt him. If he utilizes his wrestling early, I think he will have success. I don't know, man. I don't know if Belal is going to make a change from the last fight and decide to wrestle early this time. We'll have to wait and see, but I like Gabriel Bonfim early, probably rounds 1 or 2. If it goes past that, I think Belal Muhammad probably wins this fight, 8 out of 10 times. So I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see the true level of Gabriel Bonfim, to see if he can actually compete with these guys at, the top 5, top 10. And I'm excited to see if Belal Muhammad can, still hold his spot up there, because I think he is currently ranked
be like 4 or 5 or something. He's got to be up there.
Yeah, he's currently ranked number 5. So we will see. This is a crucial fight for Belal Muhammad to be able to stay in, contention. But how do you see this fight going?
Before I say what I'm saying, it is worth noting he is 37 years old now, which I don't know. It's like, where'd the time go? Time flies when you're watching this man fight, I swear. Belal Muhammad. But that being said, nah, man, I feel like Belal Muhammad, he's gonna make y'all put some respect on his name. This is Belal's fight to win. Belal decision. He's gonna let them Canelo hands fly, and dude, I swear to God, dude, like, I swear to God, man, if he doesn't wrestle, I picked him for fucking JDM. I was like, dude, he's gonna fucking cream JDM, dude. He's gonna wrestle. He's gonna, like, we saw how JDM's fight with Islam went. Like, he can be held down, and he didn't wrestle at all. He had a point to prove, and he keeps trying to prove this fucking point, and like. This isn't the guy you want to prove it against. Bonfim can definitely knock him the fuck
Canelo hands, Muhammad.
I don't know. I feel in my heart of hearts and my gut says a Belal decision does happen, just because he's had, he earned that title shot. He made himself undeniable. He was on an impressive streak. Was a world champion.
Yeah, he's a good fighter.
Yeah,
definitely a good fighter.
I can see him getting a decision. I don't know, for the youth, for the culture. Yeah, Bonfim, bro. Bonfim KO.
All right, that solidifies that Belal Muhammad is a lot. Put all your money, put your mortgage on it. Nah, I think, yeah, man, I don't know. It's a scary fight for sure, regardless of which side you're on. It's like, is Bonfim gonna get, held down by Belal for 25 minutes, or is Bonfim going to go out there and just land some nasty combos on Belal and put him away? Like,
I could also see a Bonfim decision, though. I could see him styling on him for 5 rounds.
I don't see the decision for the simple fact that I don't think he could go 25 minutes and keep up a competitive pace. Like, I just don't see that from Bonfim.
You don't think he could win majority rounds if it went the distance?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Have to win 3 rounds against a guy who has a very high wrestling pedigree. And then it's not like Belal, like, I know we were just laughing about the Canelo hands thing, but it's not like Belal's striking is bad. He's just not like a knockout guy. He's not going to really, unless you're Sean Brady, which, I know there was some shit going on. That wasn't Sean's best night. But even then, like, that was kind of a bullshit standing KO. Like, Sean Brady was like getting, hit, but he wasn't like,
dude,
about to go to
way to
sleep.
be in a highlight. He was about to fucking have some Adesanya KO. He was gonna be humping on his body.
I mean, hey, potentially, but Belal's not really, the type of guy that he's like super dangerous with his hands. That being said, he does have good volume. He's landing 4.4 strikes per minute. That's pretty good. And I do think that that could keep him competitive if this goes to a decision, besides not even, his wrestling and factoring that he's probably going to get a lot of control time. If it does stay on the feet towards the, last 2 rounds, I think that Belal can also win those rounds on the feet. Because by that point, Bonfim is probably going to be tired from trying to get up, trying to defend takedowns, too much wrestling. And I can see Belal, etching out some rounds. But I just don't see Bonfim winning a decision here. Like, I think he has to hurt Belal early or catch him in some type of slick submission, or else he's going to lose this fight. But yeah, I guess we will have to see. That is the UFC Apex card this weekend. I am looking forward to it. I think there's going to be some crazy outcomes. I think some of those fights, if the right fighter wins, we have some contenders. But let's talk about some MMA news. So one thing that has been kind of going around this week is our guy Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is asking for his release from the UFC. Now, he himself did not come out and say this. His manager, Eddie Hearn, came out and said this. Said that basically he wants the UFC to release Tom, that Tom wants to be released, and that, he can help Tom make way more money outside of the UFC. That being said, I just don't want to see Tom ruin his career. Like, I think that if he stays in MMA, the guy is a nasty striker. He's very fast. He has good grappling. He is a phenomenon at the heavyweight division. And I just don't want to see him go do boxing, get like flatline KO like Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua. Because if something like that happened, it's just like the hype's gone. He's burned his bridge in MMA. Like, who's he going to go fight for after that? MVP? Like, respectfully, it's kind of, I don't know. He could still make money out there, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely going to tarnish the legacy a bit. So, hopefully, tensions die down. Hopefully, Tom stays in the UFC, and hopefully he books a fucking fight soon. But, what do you think about this, man?
I think, it's just it's not good on his part. It's like Sean O'Malley said, kind of like he's biting the hand that's feeding him, kind of thing. Like, you guys aren't. Tom Aspinall's not Tom Aspinall without the UFC. He wouldn't have been. He couldn't have been. And I don't know. It's just, I know Eddie Hearn is even if he takes an L to make Tom make his money, just so he can say that he's managing him to stick at Dana. He doesn't actually care about Tom Aspinall's career and growth. And it's his legacy. Absolutely what you said, his legacy. That's what this was all for. He wanted to be a champion. That's what he was wanting for the longest time. All I want is to be a champion, and he got it. And it's just, he's doing wrong move after wrong move, and he's already ruining his career. It's not like the point of no return, but...
Yeah, it's been pretty, unfortunate because he waited all that time for the John Jones fight. Obviously, that fell through. And then now, with the eye poke with Cyril gone, taking even more time off, it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like the anticipation, it's almost like the McGregor thing, is like, you're anticipating them to fight for so long that, like, once it actually happens, it's, I don't know. It's like, yeah, you're excited to see them come back, but it's not like when they were active and you were like, oh my God, McGregor is fighting this guy or Tom is fighting this guy. Like, now when Tom comes back, if he comes back,
we've moved on.
If he's in a fight Gone or Pereira, and it's going to be like, all right, yay, let's see who the real champ is. And then what if he loses that fight? Then it's like, I don't know. It's just, hopefully things work out. I like Tom Aspinall. I do think that, for a while, he was like the only thing that the heavyweight division had that was exciting. So hopefully they work out their differences. Hopefully Eddie Hearn doesn't really fuck over Tom Aspinall, but we will have to see. Next week is UFC Freedom 250. I'm excited for that. It's here in my area. I get to go to all the events, even though I'm going to miss the damn weigh-ins, which I'm so upset about. I wanted to go to the weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial, but I'm flying back in from LA that day, and I'm coming in too late. But talking about Freedom 250, Justin Gaethje is out here trying to piss off El Matador. And I don't know if that's a good idea, Justin. He basically came out and said if he was Ilia Toporia's wife, he would leave him too. That Ilia Topuria is too full of himself. He's conceited. He hates listening to him talk, this and that. It's kind of a low blow. I'm going to be honest. Like, talking about a man's wife, talking about a man's kids, talking about a man's family, period. Pretty low blow. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to end well for Justin, man. I know people have this delusion that Justin is the guy to be able to go out there and put Ilya's lights out, but he couldn't put out Patty's lights. Who's the last guy that he knocked out? I know he TKO'd Fazeev, but like before that, I mean,
He didn't even TKO Fazeev. They went the distance twice.
no, I thought he TKO'd him in the last fight.
Nah. No, wait, hold on. Let me pull up his record. Let's see. Yeah, no, he went the decision.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
for
It
both.
was the
Last person
decision.
he KO'd was Dustin Poirier.
Dustin. Yeah, that was a nasty head kick. But that was back in
Was.
2023. Like,
And then
I
you
don't know,
had the
man.
Ferguson TKO before that, but that wasn't even like immediately. And that was, I mean, you know, that we all know how that went. That was bad.
yeah, that was also 2020. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I know a lot of people talk about Justin striking because, you know, he is a good striker. But like, if we're being realistic, in 6 years, the guy has two knockouts. I just don't see. I don't know, man. I don't see him being able to get it done. Respectfully, like I love Justin. I am a big fan of Justin. He's exciting. He's one of the best, most entertaining lightweights in the division. But I just think it's gonna be a bad night. I think Ilya's gonna be super sharp like he always is. I think he's gonna go out there. This is his first fight, being back from, you know, all the personal bullshit that he was dealing with for the last year and a half, and I think he's gonna be able to go out there and get the job done. So, what do you think about, you know, Justin's comments?
I think, I mean, Ilya, you know, that man's like training his fucking eyeballs and shit. That's kind of crazy. I think if you know, like, your opponent's doing that and you're not, like, going after his very highly publicized divorce that he went through is like, I mean, dude, that's outside of his character. Like, you went from this guy that, like, you know, he's all fucking mad because the ref made him keep hitting Donald Cerrone, and he respected that man too much. He didn't want to have to keep fighting him. Like, you know, you got this guy. You got the guy who's getting upset because James Vick is being disrespectful when he has to fight him. And then now he's saying, yeah, fucking, I'd divorce you too. Like, that's absolutely a low blow. And it's, I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel like there's like knockout karma coming or something, you know?
And it's probably going to be Justin's last fight.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he said win or lose, he's retiring after this. So
It's a good place to do it.
it's
You know,
a
big event.
yeah, it's a big fight, man. It's definitely the fight that I'm probably the most excited for next week. But speaking on the White House, Dana White basically has said that he's thinking about keeping this claw on the South Lawn. But looking at it right now, I'm not gonna lie. I love it for the event, but if it was just to like permanently stay there, it's kind of tacky. It like obstructs the whole view of the White House. Like tourists that come every single day to DC to take photos of the White House from afar, like kind of ruining that. And I don't know, like what else are you going to use it for? I know it's just a cover, and maybe you can like, I don't know, throw some like luncheons or I don't know, something like that, some important dinners there, but I don't know, man. I don't see realistically this staying there that long. Maybe it stays there for Trump's presidency for the rest of it, but like past that, I'm sure the next president's gonna come in and be like, yeah, take that shit down.
Yeah, but it's like, so that I was just thinking about that. Because it's like, yeah, Trump, he's not going to have any reason why he's going to be like, yeah, we should take us down during my presidency. It opens the door for potentially another fight or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I just, like, the next president's going to have to come in and he's going to be like, they are going to have to be like, I'm going to have to take some of my budget and spend resources to break it down. Granted, you know, that's not going to be like millions or something. I don't think. I don't know.
No, it is.
Well, all right.
The UFC already said like they're paying a stupid amount for the lawn that they're ruining right now to put this in.
I did remember reading that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, some other president's gonna have to like try and justify spending millions to break this thing down, and it's like that might have been a chess not checkers move on Don's part. You know what I'm saying? Like
The other thing too is though, like, because the UFC paid for all of this, the White House didn't use any funds of their own for this event. Is it even Trump's like decision to make? Because if the
it had
UFC
to be to some level, like you can't just build.
well,
on the
yeah,
White House
I mean,
willy-nilly.
obviously Trump said yes, you can put it there, but I'm saying as far as taking it down, if the UFC is the one who's paying for it, the UFC can be like, "No, we paid for that. Like, we want that shit back," because I'm sure it was expensive to build.
Yeah.
On top of what they would, are going to pay because of the damages to the lawn, that's still going to be their bill, even if Trump doesn't want to remove it now. If the next president comes in and says, "Yeah, we're removing this," the UFC is still, going to get billed for the damages to the lawn. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of strange, but
All I know
I
is
do like
we're steps towards idiocracy, dude.
I do
Fights on
like the idea
front lawn.
of I do like the idea of keeping it there for a potential event in the future before, like, the next presidency. I kind of like that. I would love to have another event at the White House. I just like it because it's close and I don't have to damn fly and pay for hotels and shit. So, yeah, I don't know. But, all right, that was this week's card. We talked a little bit about everything. We talked about last week's card. We went over some of the issues with the White House. We talked about Tom Aspinall and Eddie Hearn's issues with Dana and the UFC. We appreciate you guys every week coming and watching our show. Here soon, I'm going to try and get our episodes, past and future, on streaming services so that you can listen to them. And I also am going to try to get them on like Apple Podcasts or whatever. So anybody who wants to listen to the audio version will be able to do that as well. Yeah, thank you guys for being here this week, and we hope to see you next week, because next week we have Freedom 250, which is going to be a monumental event. I still don't know how I'm going to work that out because I'll be in California, so I don't know. I'll have to find somewhere to hopefully record. I'll tell you right now, my quality probably won't be what it is right now. I'll probably be coming in from my phone, but we'll make it work. And yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about those fights. But do you have anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, man, just thank you to the viewers for tuning in. Your support means so much to us. This is why we keep doing it. This is why we keep bringing it to y'all. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell your mom. And we'll see you next week with the great Freedom 250 pod.
Absolutely. Follow us on Instagram if you don't already. That is at UFC Pap or UFC Zach. Go ahead and subscribe if you don't. Drop us a like. Drop us a comment if you disagree or agree with any of our, breakdowns. And yeah, thank you guys.
This is Corner Talk.